Hey everyone, this is Hailey from Cartoon Universe, and I'm here with MYKAL, and today we are going to discuss the newest Steven bomb, which consisted of Stuck Together, The Trial, Off Colors, and Lars' Head. We already discussed Stuck Together quite a bit in detail, so check those videos out. We posted before, but today we are going to focus on the 3 new episodes that aired today, which are the last story I mentioned, and a whole lot happened, so yeah. I'm definitely excited to discuss this with you, MYKAL. Any initial thoughts?
Well, first off, I feel like I missed a ton of stuff, besides the fact that I literally missed the most important scene of the entire thing, because I'm out of town and I got interrupted. But besides that, even with watching it again, I still feel like I missed a ton of details. Like, there was just so much revealed, just in the trial alone. But yeah, really good stuff. A little weird on the ending, but we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. There was probably a lot that it's going to take multiple viewings to even start to piece things together, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So many new theories came out of this bomb that I'm totally excited to talk about them in the future.
For sure.
So to start, we're going to talk about the trial first, which was, absolutely huge, and what happened in it and what was concluded from Steven's trial. So basically what happened, as we saw in the 2-minute clip, Steven was assigned a Zircon who was going to defend him because he was being put on trial because, as we know, he claimed to be Rose Quartz, which, he is, but he, is pleading guilty to the crime of shattering Pink Diamond, which, what happens here, that may not be exactly the case. And as the notes say, Zircon sees that it says that Pink Diamond was shattered by Rose Quartz in front of everyone, which contradicts what was stated later on. So we also see another new gem, which is another Zircon, who seems to be from Yellow Diamond, and the one that's defending Steven is from Blue Diamond, just by their colors and how they look. So little differences between a Yellow Diamond gem versus a Blue Diamond gem, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, it was interesting that they're almost kind of opposing each other in a way. I found that really interesting, and I guess that kind of is... it's close to what a lot of people were theorizing about there being a friction within the diamonds. Not exactly how we thought it was going to go down, because White Diamond didn't even show up, which was kind of disappointing. But yeah, that was very interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And as the trial goes on, Lars is used as evidence, and also something else that's really cool that happened is an eyewitness's eyeball, which so we know that they all she made it back to Homeworld, and of course she testifies against Steven, and they're eventually the diamonds are like, well, we have our Yellow Diamond's like, we have all the evidence we need, let's just execute him. But and Steven's like, yeah, okay with that. He's like, I'm guilty. He confesses. But Blue Diamond is like, no, I want to know how Rose Quartz shattered Pink Diamond. And, but so then basically Zircon and Steven talk it out a little bit more. And eventually, or I guess Blue Diamond deduces that it was a sword that shattered Pink Diamond. But if it was Rose Quartz, we know that's not the case, because her sword cannot shatter Pink Diamond, which we've or any gem in general, which we have discussed many times before. But that really riles Blue up, and she has a power that can make everyone cry at once if she gets really, really sad, which we kind of saw with Steven, but we were just assuming because he had a special connection to gems in general. Yeah. But I guess Blue Diamond is just that powerful. And kind of on command, or I guess it was more involuntary. She can make other gems cry.
Yeah, it was probably a combination originally with Blue Diamond being able to give such a strong energy out, and Steven also being able to pick up on other people's energy. That was probably that combination of things that did that initially. What was I going to say? Something about the trial. We can actually get back to that later.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we also learned that Rose Quartz is a shallow stratagem. So I don't know if she was just probably a regular soldier. And so this is when Zircon's trying to piece things together, and she tells Blue Diamond to bring out her palanquin. And Zircon's questioning, how did Rose Quartz get close to Pink Diamond in the first place? She mentions that her pearls should have been around her agates to defend to defend the diamonds, which I guess is also part of their job, which we didn't really know about that. We just knew that they terrified and they bossed other gems around. But also, Zircon then deduces that it must have been someone close to her and not Rose Quartz. And this is when the big reveal happens. Zircon says that it was one of the diamonds that, in fact, shattered Rose Quartz. I mean, not Rose Quartz, Pink Diamond, and not Rose Quartz.
Yeah, didn't happen yet.
So this leads us to many people thinking, who did this? Is it definitely not Blue Diamond, especially since she's the one who wants to know about all this? People are kind of stuck between White Diamond or Yellow Diamond, and I probably will give my thoughts about that in a separate video, but do you have any thoughts about who it was?
Well, I think at the very least, Yellow Diamond knows. And I think this is, yeah, she knows, like, Rose didn't actually do it. And I think that's really interesting because you mentioned before, you did a whole video on why Blue Diamond might get redeemed. And I was like, nah, son, I don't think that could happen. But, like, this whole trial thing makes me think it could maybe happen, even though she's still, like, a tyrant. And she's still she was still down to kill Ruby just for accidentally fusing. But we can get into the logistics of that later. But it was interesting to see her be the rational one compared to Yellow Diamond, when Yellow Diamond's supposed to be the rational one. And, like, to see that type of friction, and Yellow Diamond was really quick to be like, oh, Rose is guilty, that's it, open and shut case. But Blue Diamond is being smart about it. She's asking more questions because she knows it doesn't make sense, and this is something that we've been saying for a while, that it didn't make any sense that Rose could have possibly even shattered Pink Diamond in any way, shape, or form, especially with that sword that was specifically designed to not shatter. So, yeah, I think Yellow Diamond definitely knows for sure. If it was Yellow Diamond or not really sure, but what's interesting is that Eyeball said she saw it with her own eye, and she doesn't seem like the type that would be informed with some type of conspiracy or anything like that, or some type of cover-up. She's not, like, at that level, especially since she's a common soldier, so that means there had to have been a staged thing where somebody shapeshifted and pretended to kill a diamond, and as Zircon said, is probably one of the other diamonds. And from a writing standpoint, that seems to be what it's pointing towards. So either Yellow Diamond or White Diamond. But at the very least, Yellow Diamond definitely knows. And Blue Diamond isn't involved because she is so close to Pink Diamond and very sensitive.
Yeah, and looking at Yellow Diamond's reaction to this, she just immediately gets mad and ends up poofing both the Zircons, even though, you know, the yellow one was on her side in this trial. Yeah. But yeah, just her reactions, like, says a lot that maybe she knew exactly what was going on. She's like, I've had enough of this. Stop talking. Yeah, you're too smart for your own good, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's pointless. But yeah, that was definitely a big red flag.
Yes. So Steven and Lars leave the trial room in the palanquin. They just kind of get to fly up, and we learn that they are in fact on Homeworld, which is pretty awesome. We've been waiting forever to see this, and I'm just super excited about it. And we see a really cool image. I mean, Homeworld looks so different than Earth, obviously, but I think it's actually kind of pretty. We see, like, these upside-down pyramids, kind of, which remind me of those in Series Steven. And we also see a statue or a temple or just some sort of, like I said, figure of sorts of White Diamond, most probably her, which is, you know, our only mention or imagery of her in this whole bomb, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but I guess from a writing standpoint, it makes sense because we don't even know what her whole dynamic's even going to be in the first place. So she may have muddied things up a bit, but I'm pretty surprised that they just kind of showed both the diamonds in the promo. I guess they're just really trying to get people hyped, but we didn't know what the little details were going to be. So that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty much. And then, yeah, once that happens, basically that's the end of the episode. So any final thoughts on the trial?
No, that was my favorite episode of this special for sure. A lot of details. We learned that, you know, Pink Diamond has sapphires. They have agates. We don't know what kind of agates.
Pearl.
Yeah, and we finally got a mention of her pearl, and we were like, where's the pearl? And that was also pretty sus, because Yellow Diamond looked at Blue Diamonds. I'm sorry, Yellow Pearl looked at Blue Pearl, when they mentioned the pearl, and they seemed like kind of shocked. Or at the very least, yellow pearl seemed shocked, and blue pearl was kind of like surprised. So maybe yellow pearl is also in on this conspiracy that Bush did 9/11. But I don't know. Yeah, no, that was super interesting. I had a lot more questions about pearl, and we know pink pearl isn't lying now for sure.
That's true.
So that's definitely interesting. Where is that pearl now?
Yeah, we have a lot of missing suspects in this case.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to off colors. So basically, starts basically where the last one ended, and Steven and Lars are stranded on Homeworld, and this Shattering Robonoid starts chasing them because it recognizes that Steven has a gem. I don't know if it probably wasn't just because he was Rose Quartz. Probably just it wanted to shatter any gem in general, as we see later.
That's kind of confusing, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, what are they just roaming around Homeworld and just offing gems left and right for no reason?
I'm not sure where they landed exactly, but they seem to be in a kind of outskirts part,
I guess.
I would say. So just trying to destroy any gems that were off colors.
So maybe like a forbidden area. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but thankfully, they get rescued by Rutile, I believe, who has 2 heads. So we get to see a whole bunch of new gems in this episode. And the first one we're introduced is Rutile. But the splitting of the gem is something that happens naturally sometimes in gems, and this is what happened in her case. And that's what happened to this gem, which is really cool to see. And I was thinking at first she was going to be a forced fusion, but no, this is a natural thing that happens. But it's unfortunate because they're automatically outcast in society, even though there is nothing really wrong with her.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case. I unfortunately wasn't able to join in on the discussions about the leaks, the 2-minute leaks and stuff like that. But I did think that was they probably just naturally came together like that, because I don't think they would have nailed down a forced fusion per se yet. I don't think they're there considering the gem mutant monsters and stuff. Even though it did look like it based on the gem shards, but I figured it was probably just a natural thing that happens.
Yeah. So then Rutile takes Steven and Lars to this ancient kindergarten where they meet some more off-colored gems. We have Rhodonite, who is a fusion of, I don't think it was mentioned what the fuse,
I don't think it was.
Gems, but people are speculating that it's a ruby and a pearl, which makes a lot of sense based on how they look.
Yeah.
And
it's apparently really Rebecca Sugar did say that. Apparently.
Oh, yeah. And she's really worried all the time, so it makes sense because we know how pearls are.
Yeah.
And ruby too, a bit. And she also mentions that she used to work for Morganite. That's just a little detail. Maybe we'll see a Morganite eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Then we have this Sapphire Gem, and forgive me, Pataparasa, perhaps.
Yeah, so is that a type of sapphire?
Yeah, it's like this pink, I guess, or I don't know. There's I'm not really a gem expert, but there's a couple different types, I believe. Sorry if we're wrong about all this.
Yeah,
but,
I have no idea how that stuff works.
Yeah. And what's interesting about her is that she can only predict things that just happened, which makes her very useless compared to a normal sapphire who, sees the future. But it's interesting that literally that's all she does. She can't, she's almost controlled by that. She's not really aware of her defect, I guess.
Yeah, she was one of my favorite parts of the episode. She was just making all these late remarks. So she was probably under Pink Diamond, I would assume, given her color. Yeah. So she was probably one of Pink Diamond's sapphires.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes. I mean, I don't know if she would ever owned by a diamond per se, because
maybe not.
She was probably immediately kicked out.
Yeah.
Once they figured out this gem's useless.
Yeah. She was probably made for Pink Diamond, but was promptly thrown away.
Yeah, unfortunately. So then we have Fluorite, who is a huge fusion of 6 gems, and they talk very slow because she has so many beings inside of her, but she seems pretty smart and wise and stuff. And a caterpillar. That's pretty interesting design.
Yeah, an interesting remark. I don't remember if it was off colors or Lars's head, but someone mentioned that she mentioned that she's 6 people and she may have room for one more. So is that what was weird about that is Like, does that make her the same gem, and every time she adds on, she's still just a bigger version of that gem? Or would that change her gem? Because you said it, like, the way it was worded, kind of seemed like she would stay the same gem somehow, which I'm not sure how that would work unless you just added on, like, the same gem, like, a duplicate gem that's already in the fusion.
Yeah, I don't think she'd be the same gem. I think they just immediately recognize them as that new gem, and they'd always be that gem. Like, I'm now whatever, and
we're malachite now.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
So they say, like, as the episode title is, they are off colors, which we were totally wrong about. We guessed it was going to be back on these at the zoo, but we were wrong, and this is actually on Homeworld, which is, it's very cool. And an off-color gem is basically just a flawed gem, so anything of that sort. We thought maybe it literally just meant their color was a bit off, like from, I believe, the betas are. Those gems were a little bit off-colored, literally, but no, these ones are like all sorts, shapes, and sizes of what their defect is.
Yeah, well, I did mention in the prediction video thingy thing that off-color does also mean sick, so this was kind of in that vein. There's like something wrong with them, like not functioning correctly. So yeah, I figured it. I honestly think the Amethyst would be coming back. Not in this episode, at least.
True.
But, I thought it was possible, but it was kind of a stretch, so I'm happy to see they went this route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right after that, the Romanoids kind of find them again, they run, and Rutile is cornered, but Lars intervenes, and it's optimal that he fights against the Romanoids because they can't sense him at all because he doesn't have a gem. So he just finally steps up for once, which is amazing to see, and he protects the gems. I think he finally learned that, he's scared of pretty much everything, which, I relate to a lot, but he finally stepping up, which is awesome to see. But, of course, it backfires, and,
literally.
He stabs one with this, with, a rock, and then it explodes and kind of...
kills him. It literally kills him. Literally dead. Actually, a human character dead.
Yes, but not for long, technically.
Yeah, that was really baller, man. Lars is a thug for that. He was going in. Yep.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the gems' reactions. They have no idea how easily a human can die like that.
Yeah.
So they're like smiling, and we're like,
yeah, you did it.
But thankfully, Steven has healing tears, which we had no idea about, and Lars comes back to life.
They call Lars Young Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, was this something that, we know Rose could do it because she did it to Lion, but did she also have just healing tears on gems? I'm assuming she didn't have healing spit at all. I don't know. It's just weird, how just all of a sudden he has healing tears that works on organic life, but his spit is the only thing that works on both organic and non-organic, because he healed Connie's eyes, but also healed a teddy bear and gems. Yeah.
Well, he didn't heal him per se. He literally resurrected him. So
yes.
Someone in the Discord, I don't remember who it was, so shout out to whoever that was. You might remember. Mentioned that since Steven is half gem, half human, he doesn't have Rose's powers to the T per se. Maybe his powers kind of split. So maybe Rose's tears just could do any type of healing for organic or non-organic life. Obviously can't bring gems back from being shattered. But other than that, can kind of heal pretty much anything. So maybe Steven's spit heals non-organic life and just specific little things, and then his tears specifically bring back living organic beings from the dead or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll clarify on that, but now he has that power.
Yep, casual.
Yeah, very. So that brings us to Lars' head, and like you said, Lars is literally resurrected. And right after that, he's of course he freaks out and stuff, as I discussed in the 2-minute, leak clips. But right after that, the Romanoids return, but in time they were able to block the entrance. And we learn later that Lars has powers just like Lion, which a lot of people were predicting, and also clearly in the leaked photo we saw that he did. So now we don't know if he has the other powers of lion. Makes sense if he did, and that'd be interesting to see him like scream and like
he starts makes a warp hole.
Yes. Oh my, so many possibilities. Yes. And now that means Steven can go into his hair, and we see that now he can, same dimension, little pocket dimension as lion, but now there is a new hill with a tree, that a completely new one, and we also can see Rose's one with all her stuff. So if he goes over to that side, he's able to go back out through Lion's hair to where Lion is. So it's kind of like a warp, and he can kind of go pretty much any two places now, like almost instantaneously, which could be so helpful in the future, which is really helpful now, but like, I don't know, a lot of possibilities now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much, that's the reveal. That's the Lion reveal, basically. Like, we've been waiting this whole time to see what the deal was with Lion. So he's not a gem, he's not Pink Diamond, he's not Rose Quartz, he's not Pink Pearl, he's not Mr. Frowny, he's not Dog Copter. He's just a lion, and that means it's very likely that the lions that were in Buddy's book most likely were just regular lions, and Rose was able to heal one of them. Brings up the question why she didn't heal the others when they inevitably died.
Yeah.
So I don't know why
Only
that is.
Once, maybe?
Yeah, maybe she had some type of weird, like, moral code about playing with the dead or something like that. She didn't want to just resurrect every living thing that dies willy-nilly. Maybe they went missing somewhere, like something like that. I don't know. There's a ton of explanations as to why, but
I know so much. So since Lion is in Steven's house, he's able to, just pretty much walk to his house, and he sees that the crystal gems are gone. But right after, kind of taking a little break, he goes back to Lars, and we kind of learn a little bit more about what's going on with him. He's pretty much a zombie now. I mean, he does have a heartbeat, just much, much slower, which means he might never age, or just very slowly, which is very sad that he might be a teenager forever. Yeah,
and he doesn't get hungry. And he's also pink forever.
Yes.
So, like, what does that mean? How do you move past that? Exactly. Like,
Sadie's gonna be in for a shock.
Yeah, like Sadie's gonna grow old and die, and then.
Also, his calling in life was being a baker. If you don't have an appetite and you want to be a chef or some sort, that is absolutely terrible. So I don't know what he's gonna do now with his life.
Ironic. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll find a way to reverse it. I don't know. That's weird. That's pretty crazy.
Poor Lars. I mean, I kind of feel for him a little bit after all these episodes, because
of course,
he's a much better person than if this had just happened in the beginning. I'd be like, okay, well, he deserved this, but I don't know. I don't know after this. He saved a lot of gems that day before. Well, when he died, I guess.
Yeah. Lars actually died. Like, I'm done.
You're shook with that.
I didn't think they would. I mean, they brought him back to life. I knew, like, if someone died, they would bring him back to life, because it's not that type of show. This isn't Game of Thrones. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. And that leak was real. The leak was actually real, which, like, I didn't really take that leak seriously. But that was actually Steven holding Lars, and he actually died. Like, I thought, like, okay, he's holding Lars. Maybe he got hurt or something because of some gem nonsense that Steven got him in the middle of by accident. But no, he actually died, which is pretty insane. So anything's possible.
Yeah. So right after that, when Steven, after he talks to Lars, we learn that all these off-color gems believe that the Earth was destroyed by the diamonds, which is why they're so surprised when Steven says he was just at Earth. But in fact, it's back. And we also, they're like, okay, this is someplace we can go that we're safe from all the diamonds. But there's one little problem. Lars cannot go back to Earth for obvious reasons, because he cannot go inside his own head.
Which he could just warp. Which I guess Steven didn't think of that, maybe, but that's something that Steven could just been like, hey,
use his power to warp?
Yeah, and then just everyone just warp.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, who knows if Lars would even know exactly how to do that yet, but...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you could try. I would, if I was Steven, I'd be like, okay, he's lying. Yeah, just scream, man. Or roar or something. That's what I would have tried. Which
kind of leads us back to this very mixed ending. People people are having mixed reactions to the ending. By Steven going back to the Earth by himself, the off-colors and Lars are both stuck on Homeworld for the time being until they find another way back. And, he returns and, eventually the gems pop up right at the same time, which is a very nice coincidence. And it seems like they were trying to fix Centipedel's ship, which they called the dropship, which wasn't working because they were going to try to go to Homeworld, but obviously nothing worked. So good thing Steven, I guess good thing Lars died, I should say. Steven was just conveniently... I know. Steven was able to conveniently just come back at this time when they were really worried about him. I mean, they've been worried. I don't know how long they were gone. Just for days, they said, I believe. But yeah, at least he's back, I guess. But who knows what's going to happen in the next episode? I mean, it could just be who knows? Do you think it's going to be a big episode?
Join us next week as Steven helps the cool kids get a job. I would be so... So... Couple things. One, okay. This is not related to the main topic at hand, but one, what happens if you're bald? And
that's what I said. I thought too. Like if Lars shaves his hair.
Yeah, like go through your leg hair. Like what's going on here? And I don't know. Well, we're going to the Rebecca Sugar soundtrack thing, so maybe I don't know if you're going, but hopefully if I run into Rebecca Sugar, I can ask her that very important question. Two, okay, so. Steven is on Earth with the gems and Greg and all that, and they're all happy and whatnot. I'm surprised they didn't get Lapis and Peridot to help, which is very strange. Maybe they split up or something. I don't know. So that's weird. Are there more pocket dimensions? Because it seems like it created a tree, which is interesting, in the little Rose Quartz pocket thing. So I'm curious if there's more out, like, in the horizon. Like, why else would they be close? So I'm guessing those are the only two, most likely. And also, I don't know, because, like, I'm worried, based off of the pacing of Season 4, it was not great. It was pretty slow, a lot of hunky-dory stuff, and it especially made no sense after they came back from the zoo, and they knew Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond were going to come and get humans for the zoo again, and they knew the rubies were in space, and they did nothing about it, and then Navy jacked the ship, and I'm assuming was able to save Eyeball because she was there at the trial. I don't know how else she would have gotten there, so that kind of created this entire mess. So, like, I don't know, I'm worried that they're going to do the same thing again and just leave Lars in space with all these gems. And then another problem is, like, yeah, Steven's on Earth, whoop-de-doo, but also, like, why would the diamonds not chase him? I guess only because, like, I feel like Yellow Diamond would leave him, I guess, because she wanted to execute him anyway, and she thinks the cluster's going to emerge. So that makes sense, I guess. But I feel like Blue Diamond would want more answers, especially as it was getting good. So maybe there's going to just be a rift between Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond on Homeworld. Yellow Diamond's going to leave Steven there. Maybe Blue Diamond wants to go get him to get more answers, or send someone to get him to get more answers. And Yellow Diamond might just be like, screw it. And that can kind of lead into Steven just having fun in the Beach City, but that still doesn't make sense because Lars is in space. So I don't know how that works. I hope they resolve that, like, immediately. I hope there's no Beach City episodes. I don't want to see the show. I don't care about Mr. Girl right now and Pearl's dates. I don't need that. Later, that's fine, but that would just be so out of place, especially for Steven, who cares about everybody, to just leave him there on Homeworld. Like, that doesn't make sense. Even though he is more or less safe, and Steven mostly knows that he's safe, like, you would think Steven, or even Garnet, at least, who has freaking future vision, would be able to be like, yeah, he could just work like Lion or something. I don't know if I buy that. They're just, like, if they go to Beach City episodes, I don't know if I buy that from a writing standpoint. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, they do this, like, every time, though, so yeah. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Other times, before the zoo, every other time it made sense because there was like, enough cause to, like, relax.
Yes.
They still mention it too. Like the Malachite thing is like, okay, we have to get Malachite in the ocean. They spent a couple episodes on that here and there. They mentioned it in passing. Like, they didn't mention the rubies at all. Navy just landed and grabbed the ship and bounced. and that was it. They didn't even like talk about it at all that entire time for like 5 episodes. They were just like, oh, let's help Ronaldo become a crystal gem. Like, it was just dumb. And it would have made sense if there was reason to relax, but there was no reason to relax then, and there's definitely no reason to relax now. So hopefully in the next episode or 2 they address it in some way, shape, or form in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't have any idea where they could, what else they could say that would rationalize it, but wow, just, I don't know. Any final thoughts, I guess, since we covered all the episodes?
On everything, yeah, it was a lot to take in. I'm sure we missed some details. I love the new gems. I love the Pad Parascha Sapphire.
We'll get it down. We'll nail it eventually.
Yeah, she's probably top 5 favorite gems, I think. So Pink Diamond's thing was a setup. I think that's more or less confirmed at this point. Yellow Diamond may be involved, but it could be a red herring because we have seen Yellow Diamond lose her stuff before. I'm not sure. So it's kind of up in the air. I do think she might be involved in some way, shape, or form, considering how she was acting, but there's no real telling. I do think someone probably shapeshifted as Rose. It could have been Pink Pearl. That would make a lot of sense, considering that Yellow Diamond, assuming Yellow Diamond was involved, Yellow Pearl seemed to look at Blue Pearl. Kind of shocked when she mentioned the Pearl, and why wasn't she there? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But I don't know how Pink Pearl would be able to shatter a diamond, though. Is that possible? I don't think that's possible. Unless I feel like
it's gonna be that thing, like only a diamond can shatter a diamond, like
Yeah.
I feel like, because that's like a phrase like people like to say a lot. Or like, crack a diamond. And I feel like that makes sense if it's one of the actual diamonds that did it.
Yeah. I just don't know how people could mistake her as Rose Quartz. Unless, because that goes back to Eyeball, though, because Eyeball, we know, is very easily manipulated. We saw that Eyeball was tricked into thinking Amethyst was Jasper, even though the colors are all wrong. She didn't have the same voice.
Exactly.
So it's that could have been a foreshadowing, a hint from a writing standpoint that, like, hey, you can't necessarily trust what this person said, because she's the only one that claims to have seen it. No one else claimed to actually see it in person. Because even Zircon herself said, like, oh, the rumor said that Rose was lost. So it seems like most of Homeworld probably just heard the stories, but don't actually know how it went down in actuality. So that would make a lot of sense if some other gem like White Diamond or Yellow Diamond, even though the colors were all off and it made no sense, and she said it was with her guard, so maybe it was just a bunch of rubies that were easily tricked, because we saw that already, so they kind of established that rubies can easily be tricked. So maybe Yellow Diamond or White Diamond or somebody like that shapeshifted as Rose and then shattered her, since a diamond is the only thing that can shatter a diamond, and that would make total sense, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we got a really nice theory there. So, yeah, this was a great bomb overall. Of course, like, the trial was probably the most impactful episode in a while, but the other 2, the new ones that we hadn't seen yet, were also really, really good. So thank you so much, MYKAL, for analyzing this whole bomb with me. And of course, as always, we want to know what you guys think. Is there anything we missed? Give us your theories, as always. And that pretty much covers it, I'd say. You don't have anything else, right?
No, we should have a lot of theories. Hopefully we can start tomorrow.
I'll try my best.
But
Get right in. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
See ya.